feel the power? Can you feel the power? Feel the power of double XI.
Positive Power 21.org. Internet radio.
You're listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Hey, my name is Davis and I'm from Haiti, but I live in Dominican Republic. I'm here, Positive Power 21, Jerry Royce Live Worldwide.
All right. What's going on, family? Welcome to Positive Power, Double XI Christian Media. Hope everybody's doing fine. I know there's so much going on in the world right now with the world of sports shutting down. Basketball, temporary suspended playoffs. I know my son is angry because he was throwing down in his dorm room with the playoffs. And he just finally got his NFL ticket for the NFL. So we're hoping there's going to be some football. But the world is standing still right now. We got storms brewing out of the Gulf Coast, and we got stuff going on in, I think, the Midwest. Wow. And then we got politics. Man. And don't forget our friend, Mr. COVID. What's going on? Kelly Holland, what's up? How you doing? Charm City.
Hey, Batman. Hey, Baltimore. Hey, Charm City. How is everybody?
We're awesome. We're excited tonight.
I'm excited. I'm always excited for our guests that come on, especially the strong women that represent. You know, I'm biased.
I feel you on that one. Look. As much as men been messing up lately, because I think we caused all the problems that's going on right now.
Wow.
Just pick one. And
you said call it like it is, huh?
I just been obeying around here. You know, my wife say something, I say ha ha, honey. How high? How much higher?
I know that's right, Batman. He said we gonna keep this love, baby. What do you need, honey? That's beautiful, Batman.
He was a little puppy. When the puppy barked, I was like, what you want, little doggy? She won't go out. She goes out every 2 hours. It's just time for the females to take over. Men been messing up too much. We've been in court and shooting people, and it's just been crazy.
Like craziness. Yeah.
Yes.
And then, we're all conditioned to deal with it. It's not right. And you know what? I'm all for it. A new role in leadership is needed. We don't have good leadership as it stands. There's no doubt about that. No one can argue that, regardless of who you voted for or what side you stand on. So, the goal is to make things better for us and not just to pick on people for whatever unnecessary reasons are detrimental to our everyday lives. Amen.
Yeah, it's just time for the men to step aside. And, a lot of us been raised by mamas anyway, so we know who the boss is. So it's like, why was just messing up out there like that? I was kind of excited when Nancy Perusa took over the speaker house. I was happy about that when she took that role. Yeah, because the other guy, he was kind of messed up too. I know he really wasn't feeling it, but he was just rolling with the punches. I was like, I don't know, if I'm on a bad football team and a quarterback is jacked up, I'm going to say something. Well, I'm going to quit.
I'm trying to figure out. And these people get these jobs how they're voted in. So if we don't know anything about politics, it's a popularity contest.
Remember, it starts in school. If you was one of those people saying, I ain't running. Somebody asked you, hey, Kelly, you want to run for class president? And you said, no, I don't want to do that. That's where it started at. It's right there.
Yeah.
You said no.
Exactly.
Right.
Captain Robin Blake said the same thing. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'll go on and on and on. Yeah. So let's bring on Miss McLeod.
McLeod got a powerful testimony. I just want to say hello to her because you're not can talk all night. What's going on, Miss Val? Welcome to Power. How you doing?
Thank you. Good evening. Happy Thursday. Hi there.
Thank you. We want to make sure you stay. I didn't want you making no phone calls and people calling on my hotline saying, get off the phone. Let Miss McLeod talk.
No, I was enjoying the music and certainly enjoying the conversation because, yes, we are in the most extraordinary, conflated moment that one can ever imagine, right?
Yeah, we are.
Absolutely.
I was almost ready to pull a plug and tell my wife to just go get the kids. It's not looking too good right now. So we'll see.
Go across the water, huh? I'm with you, Batman.
Yeah, man. But look, you guys have a great show. I'm just going to just shut it down and just listen to you guys. Have a great show. Batman's on mute.
Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us again. Val, I'm so happy to have you here, and I cannot wait for you to tell your story yourself. Definitely had the opportunity to read your bio and your accolades, but I would love to dig in more, if you will. But before we do so, please let our listeners know again who you are and what it is that you do, lovely.
Okay, well, my name is Val McLeod. I'm a native of Miami, Florida, currently living in Savannah. I've been kind of sequestered here since the COVID lockdown. And I founded a company that is an organizational growth, engagement, and transformation company, and I help people to build connectivity and stronger collaboration through trusted relationships. And the name of my company is Val U Life More. And I have just had an extraordinary experience walk through this life. As I said, I'm from Miami. Professionally, I worked in Miami-Dade County. Most notably, I was the constituent liaison for the tacit first African-American mayor there in Miami for many years. From that space, I had the honor of being mentored by the renowned Nobel laureate nominee, Dr. Maya Angelou, who contributed so much to my life, and really, really helps me to walk as the authentic way that we should walk in the earth and living out our truest calling. And so I live my life helping others to appreciate the intrinsic value that is within each and every one of us. And I kind of came to that awareness because I had to always be aware that I was more than one aspect of myself that I was presenting in the earth, and that is being morbidly obese for most of my life. And I ultimately tipped the scales at over 600 pounds. At over 600 pounds in my early 20s, and I just had to, had to really make some decisions about whether I was going to allow food to control my life or if I was going to take the reins. But so just a combination of things. Every diet you can imagine, just things that I even dreamed of, I was just over many years, and it was up and down. But ultimately, I was able to release more than half of my body weight, and even now I'm totally plant-based, so I'm the healthiest expression of myself right now. And so my whole journey through life has been about, okay, how can you be able to grasp where you are and take an assessment of what you really want, and then be willing to make the sacrifice and the commitment to go after it. And just for the basis of time, we can fill some things in as you talk, but I just wanted to say, as I became aware of just how many sacrifices had to be made for us to live the life that we live now from our ancestral contributions. But back about a little over a year ago, I had that awareness as it relates to veterans. Like, my goodness, look at all what the veterans have done.
Through your DNA?
Sacrifice that. I'm sorry?
Oh, I misheard. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I thought you said something.
No. I said through veterans. I just became aware of all that veterans had sacrificed for us, and it's from that space I realized that whatever I had done to honor them wasn't enough. So I founded a veterans advocacy nonprofit called Vets Lives Matter Now. So right now, I had whatever was in my plans to do in 2020, like everybody else. You know, the whole world shifted. So right now, my focus is on helping others to improve their lives by first and foremost improving healthiness and helping in every aspect of our lives, mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, and relationally. And it's an honor to be on with you. So I look forward to your questions. So we can, I don't want to overwhelm. There's so many different things that we do in our lives, as you were saying before, us power women, that I don't want to overwhelm your audience with all my bio stuff, but I'm honored to be here.
And we are honored to have you. And thank you so much for letting our listeners know how extensive and certified that record is. Okay, people, we don't just bring on nobody. I don't want you thinking that these are women of stature. She has been mentored by Maya Angelou. She has worked under legislation. She has been mentored to other folks. Not on top of that, she's lost over 300 pounds and now is completely different plant-based. And I'm right there with you, honey. But awesome. I struggle with my vegan choices and my pescatarian lifestyle. Like dairy. Dang you, dairy. So but outside of that, so when you said the ups and downs, but exactly, just us as women and the things that we deal with, career-wise, goal-wise, mental health-wise, physical health-wise, and then the upcoming, and then the service that we want to do still, and the heart that we all hold within it. It's so commendable. We're multitask, but we're also multi-generous in that way, I think, innately. And so I'm always pleased and really heartwarmed when I'm able to encounter through this platform other women, and not to discredit any of our male guests, but, I am a little biased. And so when I am able to encounter other women of your stature, I am definitely honored and grateful to have you here. And so I just wanted to put that there and say thank you for being with us one last time. And now I want to ask you, what made you get to that weight level? Were you always a heavier person, or how does one get to 600 pounds and be mobile? I'm sure there were some health risks, or let me know.
Well, it's interesting because my mom, and the 2 days ago was the day that we celebrated 2 years of her transition into eternity. So the strength of her love remains alive. But she tells from birth, I have always been a voracious eater. You know how a newborn child would maybe take 4 ounces of milk. She would give me 8 ounces.
You always wanted more.
Even after 8 ounces, I would scream until I had another 8 ounces. So 16 ounces of milk from a child. So I had this insatiableness, and my life kind of followed that course where I was just couldn't get enough to eat. It's like I didn't have a switch in me that turned off that said I was full. And any time a little bit of fullness would alleviate it, I would interpret it that I was hungry, and I would refill again. And I just ate that pattern throughout my life. Now I'm really tall. I'm like 6 feet tall.
Okay.
And
so that's a different type of right. You can carry it. Yeah. Right.
Well, okay.
You can carry it.
Not completely, because it would totally carry 600 pounds, but it didn't look like some of the 600-pound people you see. No, I know what you're saying, but like some of the 600-pound people that you see, like on that television show, that is very exploitative, by the way. But let me just say, because as soon as I heard it, I'm thinking immobile. Right. Yeah. I was, and when I said earlier that I had to make some critical decision, I was at the juxtaposition of possibly being immobilized because my weight was starting to break it caused my knees to degrade, and my doctor told me, you're going to be in a wheelchair. And you see it now. People like in grocery stores and shopping who are bound to wheelchairs only because they're morbidly obese. And I would have been one of those people.
In your 20s?
In my 20s, in my early 20s, before 25.
Well, kudos to you, honey, because weight loss, for anyone, is a difficult journey. And then to have to motivate yourself, oh, my God. All that self-will. Once you get started, it still takes a little push, but that startup, especially with like no help, with no family. You didn't say that was the case, but I struggle getting back on, diet or exercise, but when I'm on it, I feel great, and when I'm off it, all the self-infliction, and it's just too much sometimes in the midst of everything else that we deal with, and so how is it for you to now say, listen, I have control of this, and I'm choosing plant-based in the midst of everything else that I juggle in my life? Your diet, it controls our attitude at times. Like, how are you able to maintain like that?
Well, see, and this was the breakthrough awareness that I found out. And I mean it from the depths of my heart to you, Ms. Kelly, and to all of your listeners. It's not your fault. It is not your fault. It is not about having strong will. So release the judgment, because here it comes. Here comes the breakthrough awareness. Is that, how it said it's mind over matter as it relates to dieting or goal attainment of any kind. As it relates to healthiness, it is absolutely the opposite. It is matter over mind. It is matter over mind. The food industry has so inundated itself with chemicals and toxins that make our bodies, number one, crave carbohydrates, sugars, fats. It's like it creates this dependency, and it makes it almost like impossible, for us to be able to change our intake selections of things we choose to eat, because we have these chemicals and they're driving our choices. So that's why the first step in any type of wellness change is detoxing. You have to detox. You have to get all those chemicals out your body so your brain is clear, and then you can, make better choices and decisions. And so many people, including myself, who lived my entire life just not knowing. Literally, you would think it would be against the law with some of the chemicals in the auspices of prepared or processed foods. These chemicals are absolutely detrimental, and it really creates this dependency. So I have always had a strong constitution. I had to make a decision back then, but I'm telling you, I started with Weight Watchers. Was my first 100 pounds. I was on Octafast, a liquid diet, for a certain period, and oh my goodness, Atkins, several different times. Just every kind of diet that you've been on. So I came to the revelation more recently is that diets don't work. Well, I mean, everyone knows that. It's 98% of diets.
It's a lifestyle change.
It's a lifestyle, and it's nurturing ourselves, giving ourselves the nutrients that God put in the earth.
Fuel. Correct.
Yes, that God put in the earth. And as we give our body the food it wants, that it really wants and needs, that's what helps us to not have these cravings for, like for me, packs of Oreos and eating ice cream by the half gallon and, buckets of this or that or the other thing, right? So I stand in such a place of gratitude because I understand it's not that now that I went through the detox, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's been, the true struggle. it wasn't me. It looked like it was me doing it to myself, but it was really what this food industry is doing to all of us. So that's the greatest breakthrough for people. Mm-hmm.
All facts. To our listeners, if you do not know, and we won't get too deep into this, but the American food industry has always had a great partnership with the pharmaceutical industry, and many of these major fast food retailers have their own labs. They've been cited before if you do your research, and they have been caught putting addictive chemicals in your French fries and other things that we so crave. But it doesn't stop right there in the processed portions of food. It also, the majority of the pharmaceuticals sold aren't to humans, it's to animals. And we're eating the animals. And so the plant-based life is a healthier lifestyle. If you know your word, then you also know the story when they only ate plants and were able to survive. So it's important that we, do exactly like you say. I'm in 100 agreement with you. That mental shift, that healthy change, and the benefits of it. I stand at 5'2", significantly shorter, right? And so me at 200 pounds is just too much. And I've received similar health issues that you were mentioning. No, not to the extent, but definitely similar health issues. And so it's always about the choice that we make in our mind, right? But I didn't think of it the way you said it. You said it's not mind. You didn't. Wait a minute. How did you put it? Could you say it again? You said it wasn't willpower.
It's not mind over matter. It's matter over mind.
There we go. Mm-hmm. There you go. Matter over mind.
What you put in your mouth matters. Yeah. And so once we just give ourselves the permission, this is how I say it, Ms. Kelly, give yourself permission to be the healthiest expression of yourself. Just say yes to God's yes. Just yes to God's yes. And then He will just give you the path, which is like what this call is for you or for someone need to hear, my story. And so God provided this moment, even if it's one person, right, who has been praying and asking for alleviation of certain conditions in their life. Because here's another fact, is that every chronic condition, I don't care if it's diabetes, high blood pressure, even cancers, the common denominator are two things. One is that there's a nutritional deficit, and two, an overabundance of inflammation. And both of those things, with shifting to a plant-based diet and certain organic and plant-based supplementation, can help to alleviate both of those things. And the body, Ms. Kelly, is designed to heal itself. And when you nurture yourself, your body heals itself. It's just like right now, if you got a scratch or a cut on your hand, within minutes you'll start seeing the body, start creating a scab and and just start to heal. It heals itself.
You got that Wolverine in you.
So by just giving ourselves, just living foods that are alive, and good nutrition, it's amazing how the body's like, yes, that's what I really want. And as your body heals itself, it turns off those those urges and those cravings for all the unhealthier choices. And I'm not saying, living in a place where you will never have a piece of cake or pie again, but you'll be able to make that choice and that decision and not be like a slave to it, like I was.
And that's the whole thing, is being able to not be addicted, being able to put it down. But what else do we have to deal with as women, right? It's like when we're not minding our bodies, right, in our diet and our lifestyle, and then we have to deal with career. Then we have to deal with the goals that it takes to get there, education, and let's not forget family. And hold on, what about our God? We place that first. How is it that you're able to juggle all of that plus more?
By His grace. Certainly by His grace, I live in a space that it's like it's all already rigged in our favor. It's like a rigged fight.
Yes.
And we're already set up for success. And so, like, how would we live if we knew we could not fail? If you knew it, do it. What does that look like? So I've always believed that we've always been here for specific purposes. So as we ask God, what exactly is written of us in heaven? What is our purpose for being here? And that becomes clear. And sometimes we'll know it, even from children. You'll see this a certain aptitude or an interest or a passion, even from children. Mm-hmm. That's that thing in us. He said, before you were formed, I knew you. We're comprised with our purpose, right? And so as we yield ourselves to purpose, then it pursues us, and then everything that is needed to fulfill that comes in. The challenge that we as women sometimes have, you know how we'll say that God won't put more on us than we can bear? That's the truth. But often we do it to ourselves all the time. We just take on more stuff. We don't set parameters. We don't set limits. Oh, and we just take on and take on. So what I found is, and I had to grow into this, is to say yes to the things. Say yes to God, yeses, and then now say no to some things that are not in alignment, with the yeses, the things that He's given for me to be and to do in the earth. And from that, once you really align with purpose and while you're here and how you are having an impact on others, that's the greatest fuel for me, is to see, wow, look whose life can be blessed and can be made better for me doing what God has for me to do. So that, as I've gotten older or more mature, as we maybe say, that helps me really to discipline myself with the things that I commit to, so that I can do them completely.
Amen. And that took some time, right? It's some wisdom. Who were you before you became such a disciplined person? Who was the lady that first started working in the mayor's office? Was she an intern?
Okay, so I was working in the criminal justice system. And now, remember I said I came here with this voracious appetite that couldn't be satisfied? That's a mindset. I'm the kind of person, if I'm doing something, Miss Kelly, I'm all in. I don't halfway do nothing, including eating, right? I wasn't at all. So I just had this sense of always, kind of just going beyond. And so when I worked in the criminal justice system, people would observe me, just really just going beyond the call of duty, just seeing how I can serve. I was always volunteering in the community for this, that, or the third. And here it is. Thank you, Holy Spirit. This is coming. Excellence is like a magnet. It attracts opportunities to you. So when you stand up and you're willing to serve a lot, it's like who much is given, much more is required. It's more stuff comes to you. So things were actually so it's like I was like effectively drafted by the mayor's office, and also even by the King Center. I became a certified trainer for the King Center in 1993. So it's like all these opportunities just came to me because I was just a person who always wanted to find out what else can I do to serve others, and that brought me joy to do that. So Yeah, but but to your point, as I got older, I just learned to kind of streamline some of the activities because we can be like all over the place, just be change the whole world by yourself. But yeah,
you dropping jewels all night, and I truly appreciate it. I'm getting excited every time you give me one. It's like, oh yeah, there you go. Yes, I miss the sanctuary, and so I just get really excited when when I hear. I say, oh, hear from the Lord. Yes, I hear it. She said, excellence is a magnet. I love it. And opportunities came to you because you wanted to do for others. Okay, I've met many service leaders, and you were up there with my favorites. I am truly having a great time just speaking to you. The tears are coming out. I'm like, oh, Lord. I'm having a nice time. Well, I'm having a good time because I also mentor, but it's different when you speak to a person that is affiliated in your field, but they've had mentorship and they've had experiences and they've had your type of story. And so I like to bond. I like to hear, and I like to understand what type of leader are you? How genuine are you? Sometimes people are in this field because it's populated, and so but I always enjoy coming across genuine persons, and you can tell that their heart is in the right place. They are satisfied by helping others. Have you ever had a time where you've gone in to your place of work and you were having a day? It was just not a great day for you, a lot on your mind, but you still, stood up and went in, and then you had to fix someone in some type of way, their issue, their situation, and pause real quick. Sometimes in our mentor lives, it's not always life transformations people are looking for. Sometimes they need help with scheduling, starting a business, holding their hand, walking somewhere. Sometimes they just need you to be present or be available by phone, or sometimes they do need that sort of type of counseling. But when you find yourself in that atmosphere, do you find it pleasing and healthy within yourself that helping them has now helped you?
Oh my! Even as you were speaking, what I heard in my spirit was, as you water others, you water yourself. As you water, you're nurturing yourself. You care for others. You're caring for yourself. One of the things that I learned to do, especially on those difficult days, and we all have them. I mean, us inspirational, motivational, empowerment people. We live in the world authentically. That is, yes, this is who we are. But we have our moments as well. With like, okay. Give me a moment here.
Life hits us too, people.
Yeah. So, there's certain things that I do, that ways that I practice. I literally, when I wake up and I choose gratitude. My awakening thought, when I'm aware of that I'm awake in the morning, still in the bed, for my eyes open, thank you. Thank you immediately is my first action. Thank you for another day to do what you have me here to do, right? And so I wake up, and if you look in my atmosphere now, it is saturated with affirmations, lifetime of favor. The Lord is with me wherever I go. Even as I travel, I take inspiration with me, right? So that you fuel yourself for the day, you feel yourself for the day, and you set and make a declaration of what the day will be, not what it will do to you, but what you will do to the day. Exactly. So when you go into the earth, when you walk out into the world, you take all of that you filled yourself with in the morning, because everything is about a decision. It's about the choice that you made. Nothing happens to us. Everything that we choose. We are co-creators with God. He says, the scripture, that He's given us the ability, the power to get wealth, in Deuteronomy 8:18, I believe. But that word, the power to obtain, it's the power to produce or create. We are these creative beings. So when I'm having one of those moments that we all do, one of those what I call human moments, is I just I just remind myself that I can make a decision. What do I choose to do? What do I want? And then what am I willing to do to get to what I want? And sometimes that want is just, to make it through that next hour, or, to be able to face or walk into a very, challenging or stressful situation. Because here's the thing, and I'm going to be really authentic here. One of my biggest challenges that I've had in life is because I'm so given to being the full expression of myself. Sometimes people don't understand that. So I have dealt with people who just like, I can't.
They can't take it, yeah.
And so here I am trying to just be me and like everybody else be them, and loving that. But so there's that misinterpretation and that, that misassignment of who, of how a person receives or accepts you. So that was a really difficult challenge for me in certain settings when I was coming in to help, particularly when I was getting all this accolade, and every time Dr. Angelou came to town, it was only me she wanted to be around. So people were like, well, who did she, it wasn't me asking for it. It literally, it's so
her
funny.
favorite, and it ain't fair.
Go ahead. Say that. You better say that. So that's
just
sometimes
favorite,
a challenge.
And it ain't fair, right?
It's not, and thank goodness. And so sometimes, so it's moments like that when there are things that want to suppress the gift in the earth that I have to really tap into. Okay, God, why am I really here? And what is it that you intend to accomplish through me and with me and to me in this particular moment? And as I allow my flesh, my feelings to sit down, the spirit of love stands up, and love is what makes a way. And so as long as I allow love to operate through me, then it's like the ego and the feelings and all of that, kind of take a back seat to it and let love have its perfect work.
You know what? I couldn't have said it better myself, and it's important. It's so important. And if you're not listening right now, shame on you. Watch us right now on Facebook Live. Listeners, we are catching jewels. We're catching jewels about being strong. We're catching jewels about knowing yourself, believing in what it is that your goals are, and actually accomplishing them, not letting food control your life. I am live right now, and I cannot express any more gratitude from Ms. Val McLeod, because he's giving you the real. Who else do you know that can say, I've lost half my weight, I've met Maya Angelou, I've accomplished more than just that in my life, and I'm still helping others? Like, I would just say, hey, job well done. Pat on my back. Please see me and, come out and do book signings and so forth. Do you have any projects out right now that you want to emphasize today?
Okay, well, right now, the most important thing that I'm focusing on, because of, as you were sharing with Mr. Royce earlier, we are in such a, this conflation of extraordinary moments, right? By themselves, they will be all-consuming, but as it relates to the pandemic and then the social justice issue, and then disparities all around us, right? The most important thing right now for me is to help people of color, in particular Black people especially, to improve their level of healthiness. Because no matter what else you have going on in your life, if you don't have your health is the equalizer. And we, especially people of faith, we've been able to see, and this has been so awakening. It's been so awakening, Ms. Kelly, for so many people in the body of Christ, So we believe in divine healing, but we don't sometimes understand that divine healing also is accompanied by divine health and wellness, right? So we've seen a lot of strong believers and people of faith who've been impacted and who have transitioned from here because of this COVID. And it's only because their bodies, their physical bodies, were vulnerable because of the some pre-existing condition, whether it was diabetes or high blood pressure or obesity, which manifested itself. So right now, it's really important for me to help to provide awareness and alternatives for people to consider to create a greater baseline of healthiness through non-toxic or organic supplementation and just cleaner eating. So that's really important to me. And then because I have, as I mentioned, just as a quick caveat, that in 1993 I became a certified trainer for the Martin Luther King Center for Nonviolent Social Change in Atlanta. And I live my life based on his philosophy as it relates to being nonviolent and my desire to create positive change and progress in the earth. So there's never been a moment like now for us to really advance, the next manifestation of social progress. And
Absolutely.
I'm not sure how much time we have, so you'll have to have me back again because something extraordinary happened. Last year, just about this last summer, I went to Charleston, South Carolina for the first time. I'm checking in at the hotel desk, and the desk agent asked, well, because of my last name, McLeod, spelled like Mary McLeod Bethune, she said, well, are you connected to the McLeod Plantation? Well, this is my first time in Charleston. I had never heard of McLeod Plantation, but it immediately, when we were talking about purpose, how God will order your steps, direct your path, have you exactly where He wants you to be. As soon as she said that, something went through me like a bolt of light. Like, what is that? Well, listen, to make a long story longer, but to get to the end of it, I ended up going to the actual slave plantation where my ancestors were enslaved. And had a personal tour and all of that. I get back to my hotel.
Really?
I'm staying in this presidential suite overlooking the Charleston Bay, where more than 40% of all slave ships came through Charleston, right? And here I am, all these generations later, overlooking the bay in this Hilton presidential suite. And God began to speak to me like never before. Like I knew that I had a greater responsibility. So from that, I just said, God, yes to your yes. Right now, is a major social justice project has come right to this moment right now that I'll be working with in Charleston. You'll be hearing more about it all over the world soon. So when you hear about it, there's that Val McLeod, she has to come back. So that's what I'm working on right now. How can I now contribute? How can I contribute more in a way that was contributed to me to be to the person and live the life that I'm living now?
Thank you so much for sharing your future projects. Would you like to give your listeners the website address?
Yes. My web is Val, BALU, the letter U as in unique, ValULifeMore.com, and all of my social connect platforms are the same. Val, the letter U, Life More, at Instagram, at tweet, which I'm so not good at.
Twitter.
Doing social media stuff. Yeah, same thing. Everything is Val U Life More. So please follow me there.
There you go.
And then maybe at some point we can come back and talk about my veterans with Vets Lives Matter Now in Genesis.
We would love to have you back.
Yes, ma'am.
We would love to have you back, especially when things lift up. We are looking for all of our guests to come in, if possible, to the studio so we can do it in person. And then you can bring any of your products with you. Right. So it would be a great opportunity. But we are out of time. So I want to thank you again for coming on. We definitely would love to have you back. Batman, anything you want to add before we close out tonight? Okay. Well, that's all right. That's okay. Batman's always there in spirit. So I'm thanking you again for joining us. And again, we would love to have you back in the studio. Hopefully we can speak more about your Veterans Project when you come back in. But it was very, very helpful talking to you tonight. And listeners, thank you for joining us. We will always be here to entertain every Thursday at 10 p.m. Batman, this is Kelly Holland representing Charm City. Good night, Baltimore, and remember to tap back into your unspeakable joy.
Beautiful. Thank you.